It's a pleasure to have you here this morning. We are coming to you live from our studios in Kukumlemle and streaming live on DSTV channel 421, Go TV channel 144, and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The details now. President Akufo-Addo has set in motion processes to determine whether or not Chief Justice Kwesi Anini-Abuah should be removed from office. Now, this follows a petition by pressure group Alliance for Social Equity and Public Accountability, ASEPA, demanding the removal of the Chief Justice. Now, head of our research desk, Raymond Akwa, joins me with more on this story. Raymond, run us through the events that have gotten us to this point.
So first, we know that the allegation started with specifically a land case which was filed by Ojeredom Atta, the chief, who was the plaintiff against Ghana Telecom Limited and also Lands Commission. Now, he had accused Ghana Telecom and Lands Commission of actually encroaching and erecting a mast on the land belonging to his family. They paid him some $16 million in damages, and later on, a decision was challenged by the defendant at the Court of Appeal, that's the Ghana Telecom. Now, that case was led to the Supreme Court case. Oyeredom recruited a lawyer. His lawyer was Kwesi Apirifa, who is the subject of the allegations against the Chief Justice. So Oyeredom accused his own lawyer of taking some amount of money, including $300,000 and $100,000 as ways and means to secure a favorable decision in the appeal filed by the Ghana Telecom case at the Supreme Court. Of course, we know that the Supreme Court is the highest court of the land. In fact, he also claimed that after collecting the $100,000, the lawyer, Mr. Apirifa's attitude changed. And he came to the decision that indeed the lawyer is not using the $100,000 as enough money to secure him the judgment required at the Supreme Court. The lawyer then refunded some amount, $25,000, but Oyeredom asked the General Legal Counsel, that's the disciplinary committee of the General Legal Counsel, to direct the lawyer to refund the money and also deal with him. But the lawyer, in his response, this is where it gets interesting, said the Oyeredom told him that he had already paid, that the Chief Justice had demanded $5 million to influence the case in his favor, and that he, the lawyer, couldn't have taken money to go and influence a case where the Chief Justice is alleged, according to the lawyer, to have claimed some $5 million from Oyeredom, a statement he says Oyeredom made to him in this particular case. So that is where the allegation came from. Basically, when that came out, the Chief Justice did two things. First, he petitioned the CID and also petitioned the General Legal Counsel. He dismissed and refuted the claims completely. And after those petitions, then there were other responses because other names were also mentioned. Oyeredom came out to say that he had never told the gentleman anything like that as a lawyer. Again, the lawyer insisted that he would prove his case before the General Legal Counsel and he would not be cowed. Now, then the petition came from ASEPA. So ASEPA in their petition referenced the claim that has been made by the very gentleman, that is the lawyer Kwesi Apirifa, who himself is saying that he was told, Nana Ojeredom Obranu Kwesi Atta told him, the lawyer, that the Chief Justice had demanded a bribe of $5 million. So that was the crux of the matter. In fact, ASEPA believes that this is in violation of Article 146 and that it should be activated. So he petitioned Strach and also petitioned the President of the Republic of Ghana. So it was this petition to the President which got the response that we have now from the Office of the President that they are working on it. So in effect, it is basically saying that they have acknowledged the undated petition in respect of the matter that is invoking Article 146 for the removal of the Chief Justice, and to inform them that the President has, in accordance with 1466, commenced the appropriate processes subsequent to being petitioned for the removal of the Chief Justice.
Raymond Akwa, grateful that you could run us through those events. Raymond Akwa is head of research here at JoyNews. Martin KPEBU is a lawyer and he joins the conversation via phone. Thank you so much for your time here this morning, sir. So the Chief Justice, when this allegation came up, petitioned the CID and the General Legal Counsel. Now we are hearing from the presidency that a certain probe will be put in place, or motions to get that probe have been put in place to determine if the CJ should be removed from office. Now the question is, if the CID is able to establish a matter of criminality against the Chief Justice in its probe, won't that be enough grounds for the president to remove him from office if he is found guilty? Why the need for another probe?
Yeah, well, I'm not, as for need for another probe, it's not my judgment call. To the extent that ASEPA has put in the, for now, let me call it application or the petition, so far our jurisprudence, the practice is showing that the president has no discretion in the matter. If somebody requests, then the president has to set in motion the necessary process. So this one, because it's a citizen that has triggered the process, well, that's a democracy we're choosing for ourselves. Yes, and I can see also that it's going to be, what do you call it, dividing the Chief Justice attention, because you see that he would have a divided attention. CIT is going to it, then this other process is being triggered. You say, so that's going to be a problem. But, well, it's unfortunate. I'm sure being Chief Justice and very experienced, and you know how to handle it.
So in other institutions, usually people will suggest that when a head is the subject of an investigation, they either step aside while the investigations continue so that the issue can be looked into without any supposed interference. You talk about the Chief Justice attention being divided, but do you see a situation where his actual daily activity may be affected?
Oh, definitely. I mean, without doubt, what is going to happen is that with this at the 146 procedure that has been triggered, that's with the petition that the ASEPA has, it will require that the president will set up the committee, okay? So they will first have to determine if there is a prima facie case. So that is to say, to determine whether this is a case we should go into fully. Meaning that the first one is to do some preliminary investigation. And during that preliminary investigation, they require the Chief Justice to put in an answer, okay? So for now, let's say, yes, call it some response. If it's not an answer, I'm being careful because, you know, some of the listeners, the lawyers, and so if you use the word answer, it's a technical term in certain respects. So let's say put in a certain response, because we first have to determine if this is something we should deploy all the resources to go into. And also, this preliminary part is to make sure that not any frivolous petition will engage the attention of the full committee and all the resources required. You say. So this is usually just the first part of it.
Okay.
If at the end of this first part, they say, oh, yes, it looks like there is some substance in the allegation, that is when the committee then go into the matter fully. But if at the end of the first part of it, they determine that there's no prima facie case at all, then it means the case ends there. So there's no full trial, so to speak.
So if I get to the CID, the GLC, and this motion the president or the presidency is setting in place, can run concurrently?
Yes, yes. And let's remember that the three of them are aimed at three different aims. The first one being the Defense Committee of the General Legal Counsel. That list is lawyer Isipa, who is on trial. And he's the one who made some allegations against the CJ. Except that, even though it's Isipa who is on trial, the allegations are said that, you know, they concern the CJ. So indirectly, he's being put on trial. So formally, he will not have any role to play there. Okay? Yes. Unless, yes, so for now, let's leave it there. Then the CID one is the Chief Justice who triggered it. That's so. These allegations have been made. So as a criminal investigation department, can you go into it? Let's see whether there is any iota of truth in it. And then the third one by SEPA is the one that they are seeking for the removal of the CJ, you say, which is also differently. That is under Article 146 of the Constitution.
Mm. So, Lawyer Martin Pebu, I mean, the judiciary has come under attack in past times, and for some reasons, especially when Anas Arimea released that investigative piece. Do you see this action by the presidency boosting confidence? Also, bearing in mind that it was a president who appointed this CJ, do you see that, yes, there's an allegation, but the decision of the president to look into a surplus petition or respond, as you put it, to a surplus petition kind of creates an atmosphere where people will feel that, okay, at least something is happening, and we can gain confidence back in the judiciary?
This one, that is very complex, and I need time to assess it further. But later, my initial thoughts are that, to the extent that even the CJ wrote to the CID for the investigation, that was good enough. It was boosting confidence in the judiciary that, oh, this is CJ who has looked at the situation, and even though he's not obliged, he's not required to come to the General Legal Council, he has taken it as serious enough and petitioned the CID. So that in itself was quite a very, forward-looking and very beneficial step that the CJ took. So this third one, as to how much more it adds, it's not immediately clear to me. You know, sometimes when these matters come up, you need more time for reflection.
Mm. I appreciate your time this morning, Lawyer Martin Pebu, sharing his thoughts there with us on